What is going on, everybody? So I am back today to talk about another Shudder original film, and this one was just uploaded not too long ago. And I feel like I've talked about a few of these this year, but there hasn't been a ton of Shudder original or Shudder exclusive movies this year. And whenever there are, I get really excited to watch them. I typically go in not knowing anything. I pretty much just click on it and watch it. Every now and again, I'll read a review or two. This one did not have a whole lot of reviews around it, and I'm not sure if it's because it's so new to be released onto the platform, but I'm looking forward to discussing it today. And the movie I'm going to be talking about is From Black. From Black is directed by Thomas Marquise, a young mother who's crushed by guilt and shame after the disappearance of her son 5 years previously is offered a bizarre opportunity to learn the truth and set things right. Is she willing to pay the terrifying price for a chance to hold her boy again? So this isn't anything new. These films about, like, losing a loved one and making a deal with the devil or doing some type of summoning ritual to get your child or a relative back is a concept that we've seen in film forever. And so when you go into a movie like this, obviously what you're going to be looking for is the approach to telling this story. I saw a lot of people comparing this to a movie called A Dark Song, which I haven't seen, but makes me want to go visit it just to see kind of the similarities in that. But we're introduced to our lead character, Cora, played by Anna Camp. She is a drug addict. She's living in this, like, beaten down trailer with this guy who's constantly strung out. They're both just kind of out of their minds all the time. She had a young son, and her young son disappeared while she was strung out on drugs. And the movie introduces us to her character. She's in her house, just kind of like on the floor. The police find her. There's blood everywhere. There's like salt rings all over the floor, and she's completely and totally out of her mind. So they take her to the police station. They're trying to talk to her about what happened, and we're essentially in the present day, and then we get flashbacks to what brought her to get to this scenario. And so we're getting flashbacks and then brought back into the present with her trying to explain herself. She, after her son disappears, she ends up breaking up with that guy. She goes to these meetings to try to deal with the loss of her son. They're like grief meetings for people. She has cut drugs out of her life, and she ends up meeting this gentleman there who goes to those meetings, who tells her that there is a way that she can get her son back. And so the two of them start doing this summoning ritual together to try to bring her son back, and that is the entirety of the film. It's broken up into little like segments of the ritual, which makes it interesting from a storytelling method. But like I said, this subject matter has been covered in films for ages. This whole idea of bargaining to get back someone that you love. Even early in literature, you can look at stories that discuss this type of subject matter, and we always know that in something like this, it's never going to really get a happy ending, right? There's always going to be some sort of like clause or something that is going to show up to make this bargain not peachy keen perfect for everyone, because in order for you to resurrect your child, something is going to have to happen. And so that was an interesting idea. Obviously, grief and loss are a big theme in this movie, but you also have drug addiction and neglect from a parent. And so there's those things that kind of play into the overall theme of this bargaining and what you'll do to get your child back, and what repercussions that you suffer because of the neglect and the drug addiction that this parent has dealt with. And I thought that that was really interesting to parallel those two subject matters together. The things about this movie that really work, I think the cinematography really plays a great role in this. It's very moody and atmospheric. It looks great, especially when they're doing this ritual and it goes from day to night. I think there's a really nice execution in the way that it's shot. It looks really nice. It's handled really well. The performances in this are all pretty good. I think that everybody does what they need to execute the material. But the problem I have with this movie is it gets incredibly repetitive. It's about an hour and 40 minutes long, and towards like the middle act, it just starts, you're getting scene after scene of the same. And there's a really cool creature design that's introduced once the ritual starts happening, but the problem is you don't get enough of that to keep you on the edge of your seat throughout the entire runtime. And I feel like the third act, the very last shot, they did a really good job with it, but building up to that, it kind of loses its footing a little bit where they're like, hey, how do we want to end this movie? And so that kind of took me out of it a little bit. And like I said, knowing this type of a material and what kind of a direction this is going to take, you have to add some kind of like fresh spin on it. And they do some things with the visuals that kind of make it interesting to watch, but it's not really adding anything super new to this genre of film that we've seen again and again and again. And I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. If you have a Shudder subscription, I think it's definitely worth checking out, but it's also not inventing anything new in the genre as well. So have you seen From Black? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was okay. I enjoyed some of it. I thought that there were parts of it that could have been fixed and made a little bit more engaging, but I'm not disappointed that I watched it. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.